sniper though.
Hey, what's up guys? It's HesAlwaysOpen, the king of Red Dead Online PvP, and today I'm going to be breaking down some of my showdowns, discussing some of the recent update news, and showing you guys some valuable tips and tricks that you could use to enhance your gameplay. Let's get right into it. So first off, I want to address some comments I got in my last video. Some people were claiming I use a script known as Cronus Max, and I just want to state outright right now that I do not condone using scripts to enhance your gameplay. Scripts don't make you any better of a player. In fact, they just make you look like a fucking clown for hacking. So don't do that shit. No, I don't use scripts if you're wondering. What I do is I use exploits that are in the game that any everyday player could use without downloading any sketchy software or trying to cheat and break the game. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk showdowns. I made a bad mistake with this clip on accident, and at the end of the game, I forgot to get the photo where it shows your kills and deaths. So in return, I put an overlay up top counting my kills and deaths. And this showdown game, it's at Saint Denis Plantation. One thing you'll notice about this map is there's a ton of fields and a rooftop. Just a solid piece of advice. Snipers, being the meta in Red Dead Online right now, are obviously a lot more effective at high ground. Having some sort of cover or high ground for strategic positioning will help you boost your KD easily if you've been struggling killing other players. If you watched my last video, I touched base with the Lancaster glitch, the slippery glitch, and don't get me wrong, knowing those glitches puts you ahead of most players in the Red Dead Online community. But having those glitches in your arsenal won't be enough to win you every gunfight. You need to practice your mechanical skills and have very solid strategy going in to perform well in showdowns consistently. And that's something I've mastered over a long period. I've been playing Red Dead Online since the beta. I've gone through a series of metas. I have all my ability cards unlocked and maxed out to their full potential. People don't really understand or highlight this enough in videos, so this is important to be said. How many ability cards you have unlocked and fully maxed out really helps basically cap your potential as a player, because the more ability cards you have, you are immune to meta changes. You can pull out any Deadeye card that you need in an instant. For example, of course, slippery when someone who's extremely talented with painted black's fighting you. Focus fire when some dude in slow and steady is just chilling and you need to take him out quick. Simple things like that. Just understanding what cards counter which can put you leaps and bounds ahead of players that might even be more mechanically skilled than you, just because you have better game knowledge than them. And speaking of building up that game knowledge, what better way to do that than understand which ability cards are good and which ones you should stay away from. Now, ones that are great off the bat after testing every ability card in the game that I have to mention are Landon's Patience for an incredible damage increase, especially after waiting 5 seconds. Sharpshooter for the damage reduction while in a scope, which is the underrated part of Sharpshooter, and of course the insane damage increase. Never Without One is another great one for surviving headshots, and these are just the passive ability cards. For ones to stay away from, we have Peak Conditioning, because it was severely nerfed and the damage boost is minimal. Speaking of really shitty damage cards, we have the Short Game, which is practically useless. It provides minimal damage boost, if really any. It's extremely unnoticeable. Stay the hell away from that card. I shouldn't have to tell you for this one, but take the pain away. The way you trigger it is by reviving a teammate, and the resistance you get is about the equivalent of taking a tonic. You get about 1 extra bullet that you can take from a Carcano, which that's not really worth using an ability card slot over, and reviving your teammates is very situational. So be smart and stay away from that card. And now, more importantly, we're going to go on to the Deadeye cards, and I'm going to explain to you which Deadeye cards beat other Deadeye cards, because with Deadeye cards, they're unique. Unlike passive cards, Deadeye cards completely change how you should be playing the game. For example, when I use Painted Black, I play extremely aggressive. I usually pair that Lancaster glitch with dual Mausers, and I just go up in your face, fully automatic Mausers basically, dual Uzi you to death, or I pull out my Lancaster and gun you down like it's an AK-47 from Call of Duty. But the thing is, that will never work against a player who's using Slippery Bastard, running a sniper rifle, the Carcano, with a short scope, which I highly recommend. If you do not have a Carcano with a short scope, switch that long scope to a short scope. You'll get much better results, because using Slippery with a Carcano with a short scope at repeater range allows you to basically just walk past bullets that are flying towards your head. And if you have good knowledge of enemy line of sight, you really need to understand how to duck in and out of cover without necessarily pressing R1. It's something I do passively throughout my gameplay. Even though I play very aggressive, I still know when to try to find some cover and deal with the enemy that way. And I don't recommend playing like I do. Don't just run at the enemy full steam ahead all the time. Practice your skills and make sure you're trying to hit your shots as often as possible, because the current meta of the game is Slippery with a Carcano, because if you can get 2 shots back to back, on 99% of players, they're gonna die. Which makes Slippery the best card of all the Deadeye cards. Because it can counter Painted Black, it can counter Slow and Steady, and it can honestly counter basically any ability card under the right circumstances. Now, I'm going to talk about Focus Fire. Focus Fire is a card that's great if you're dual wielding revolvers or if you're sniping. Otherwise, I'd really stay away from it, as Painted Black can really mess up people who are using Focus Fire if they do not play range correctly. When using Focus Fire, try to always stay in sniper range, and then you'll be fine. Now, I'm going to move on to Slow and Steady real quickly, because this video is about to wrap up. Slow and Steady is really only useful for when you're trying to counter Painted Black and occasionally Slippery at close range. Otherwise, it's not as useful. The main 2 Deadeye cards that you really need to be good with are Slippery and Painted Black, because once you master those 2 cards, you'll be able to use Focus Fire and Slow and Steady just as easy. And those 2 cards are the meta of Red Dead Online. So as long as you master those 2, you'll be fine. But now that you've got some PvP knowledge, let's talk about what we've all been waiting for. Outlaw Pass 3 and the Naturalist role. Thank you, clowns.
That was crazy.
So as far as we know, things that are confirmed are legendary animals, which is going to really spice up the game's environment.
I'm sorry, bro.
We can definitely expect new clothes, and of course, a brand new Outlaw Pass full of items that have yet to be announced. There's a lot of speculation going on, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like I know all the answers. What I do know is that after the extremely long waiting period and literally a movement that was designed to embarrass Rockstar through the media had to happen just for an update, they better pull through with some incredible content. And I'm sure they're going to deliver, because the player base is at stake. If we get Moonshiners Part 2, I'm sure the community will be up in arms. The Naturalist role, though, should be very entertaining overall. And I think, if anything, it'll help bring players back to the game and help make Red Dead Online a bit more lively. I've been having a ton of fun playing with my friends, and I've been getting extremely good at PvP lately. I plan on uploading consistently now that a new update is dropping, and you can bet your ass, as soon as the Naturalist role and Outlaw Pass 3 come out, I'll be making videos to help you optimize hunting legendary animals and completing all of the tasks that are included in the next natural store. And of course, if you need more incredible PvP tips, as I discover new tips to give you, I will make sure to share them. Now, all you need to do to find those is subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, please leave a like. It would really help me out. And make sure to click that notification bell, because otherwise you won't really see my uploads. Now, the final thing I have to ask before this video wraps up is, what is your fondest memory of Red Dead Online? Like, did you get a 40 kill game? Or maybe you and your buddy just had a really great time one night? Either way, go ahead and comment it down below. And this has been He's Always Open. And I'll catch all you gunslingers in the next Red Dead Online video. Peace out.